Guys, in today's video we're pleading for help. So we're going to run through a bunch of tests, but I ran these tests through the week when Sean wasn't around and we got nowhere. The car's still not running. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to show you what we found, where we're at. We all know if you need an opinion, you go to the internet. Someone out there must have experienced this. Someone should be able to steer us in the right direction. Hopefully that's you. If it is, comment below, help us. We need to get this motor running. So you can see the workbench. Everything is a complete disaster, okay? So we're jerry-rigging things together. We're trying everything. We are soldering. We had clip issues. We're struggling. So you know from the last video that we were cranking it over, and the engine was becoming so flooded, it's just dripping down through the exhaust, through the head there on the bottom. Even right now, if I just touch the bolts, you can see fuel on my fingers. So yes, been trying to start it. It's extremely flooded, so even if we fix the problem right now, it's not going to go. The spark plugs are wet, everything's soaked. So yeah, like I said, we're just going to run through our tests. First thing we thought is, well, you know what? Let's check out this in-tank fuel pump we put in, right? Because I forget the specs, but it can produce 260 liters per hour or something. And again, don't quote me on the numbers. The stock Subaru one was 60 something liters an hour. It's like a significant increase. So we were like, okay, too much fuel is our problem. Maybe just the increased PSI because we're pumping through more fuel through our rail and return. We're getting a leak. It's leaking by an O-ring, filling the cylinder, and that's causing our problem. So to bypass that, had another inline pump sitting around. So we pulled the fuel line off the supply, stuck it in a jerry can, filled it with gas, and connected this to our rail. Again, I just showed you I touched. We're still getting the fuel issues, so don't believe that's a problem, which is good. It's a lot of work, money to get that inline or in-tank pump going. So don't believe that's the problem. I'm gonna run through a few other tests, but what we got from the OBD scanner. So we do have a Bluetooth one. Again, everything right now is Mickey Mouse, but we do have one clicked inside the bus. It's a Bosch one. And if I open up, we got these two generic codes, and one was the camshaft positioning sensor. Okay, so this is great, right? These are two sensors that are easy to test on the Subaru. They're just magnetic sensors. They produce their own voltage. They produce an AC voltage. So we're going to go ahead. There's a camshaft one and the crankshaft one, right? So since they're both similar, we'll show you how to test both of those right now. Okay, so got our multimeter. First test I'm going to do is the ohms test. So I'm going to remove the connector. And this is our camshaft positioning sensor. So move the connector out of the way. So there's two prongs, right? And all we're doing is measuring resistance between them. And we are looking for roughly 2,000 ohms. Sean's grabbing that. We're getting all kinds of hands involved. So I don't know if you see the K up top, but we're at 1,997 ohms, 2,000 roughly. So it appears to be in shape, right? So the next test for that, you turn it to volts and AC. So this is my multimeter, might be slightly different than yours, but anyhow, volts AC. And again, while holding those prongs, if we turn the engine, you should see a voltage. Okay, so we're gonna have to get set up to do this one, and we'll be back in a sec. Okay, so what we actually did is cut a connector. Like I said, we have this other harness. We have two harnesses. We've kind of made one. So we had a spare connector. we've got it on. We cut off the leads. We just wrapped them around. This is only temporary, just for a quick test. So you can see we're still on ohms, so we're still at our 2000. I'm going to put it to AC. So what's actually happening is the sensor is just like a magnet, and as it spins, there's a tooth or a couple teeth, and as the teeth pass it, they create a pulse, creating our pulse, giving us AC, right? So that's how the sensor works. I'm going to crank it. We've actually disconnected, just making sure we still have the fuel relay disconnected because we're having fuel issues. So I'm going to give that a quick turn. Sean can watch the voltmeter and we should see some activity. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
And you saw pulsing voltage?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that sensor should be good. Crank sensor is right here. Exact same idea, same sensor. We've done this test on that one as well. Same results, okay? So we're gonna assume those are fine. Now, we rigged up, another thought or theory I had is maybe our ECU is bad. Maybe just the injector is like getting a signal like on, right? So it's just turn the key on and it's just screaming fuel in. So said everything's a mess. Yes, it's silly, but this is what I did. So soldered 2 wires to a light bulb, 12-volt light bulb, tinned the ends. So I'm gonna take off an injector lead, right? And all these are really hard. Okay. So in my 2 obviously contacts, I'm just gonna poke these in a bit. I'm gonna turn the key on. We're gonna see if the light comes on. Okay. So light's sitting there. Turn the key on, and a concern I guess I have is if I turn the key on, is it just sending a signal and flooding the engine? The key's in the on position. No light, Sean?
Nope.
Okay. So I'll crank it over and we'll see. We should obviously get a flashing light, a pulse, right? That's sending fuel. No light?
No light, but we also have the fuel relay disconnected.
No light. Okay. Let me put the fuel relay in and see. No light. Okay, so we just did that test. We had no light. I was like, oh my god, what is going on now? But Sean was like, hey, what about the camshaft positioning sensor? So the sensor we just tested, we hadn't plugged the connector back in. Here's further proof that it's actually working. When we plug it back in, if I go to the front, turn it over, Sean looks at the light, we're gonna get our pulse. So obviously it's sending a pulse signal. It should just be spraying. Are we getting fuel now leaking underneath again? I think so. So anyhow, we don't have the relay for the fuel pump connected. And when we don't, you see there, it did sound like it has a better, healthier sputter, like it's trying to start. If the fuel pump's connected or running, we don't get that sound at all. So it's a fuel issue, right? So doing research on this engine, I'm thinking it might be my injectors next, but to take them out, and the way the rails are, I have to actually remove the whole manifold, which would again mean pulling the engine. So we're running through a series of tests tonight. We're not getting any further ahead. We will be pulling the engine next and checking those, unless one of you has some beautiful comment just being like, hey, no, check this connector, and like it fires up. So that's what we'd really like. Let us know. Comment below. Everyone's got an opinion. Thanks. All right, guys. So that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out our store. Maybe buy us a coffee. We've always got merch. We've got new products coming out. Bus eyes are back in stock. We like to keep these in stock. Angry Eyes are a top seller. And don't forget, any money we make on this channel, and we are trying to actually make some money on this channel, is going right back into the project. So anything we are buying, we are filming, we are showing you, we're giving you our honest opinion. So check it out. Help us out. Check out the store. Get some stuff. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you out there.